Howdy there, folks. Just another video on fear and trauma responses and love, relationships. For a while now, fear has been our driving force, and many of us are still trapped by it, moulded by it. We've been confused on so many levels by a multitude of sources of information to the point we fear death, we fear hardship, and we fear conflict. We fear these traumatic experiences, yet we all have lived and died through these experiences time and time again. We may not remember them, but they affect us no less. Levels of trauma too hard to fathom are generally blocked out by all of us at some point in our lives to some degree. And our births and deaths are no exception, which is why a lot of us don't remember them. Each and every one of us that struggles to find inner peace and face our fears has some sort of unresolved trauma. Replaying memories, nightmares and flashbacks are all trauma responses that delude our ability to function. That we must learn to accept, to move forwards. Forgiveness and acceptance is key here, amongst feeling the emotions completely and releasing the pain that is stored within our body. Run, cry, speak about it. Because we must feel these emotions to their full extent and face our shadows. This is what shadow work is. If we are to return to the state of joy we had before, we must laugh or cry or carry on with life. To be able to carry on with life, we must cry and laugh and sweat and exercise and release this shit that's poured inside of us. Might be able to go for a shower, go for a swim. It's the equivalent of being baptized. From the wise words of Rafiki in the children's movie The Lion King, as he hits Simba on the head with his staff, to which Simba replies, "It still hurts though." Rafiki laughs. It doesn't matter. It is in the past. It is in the past. Now, pain doesn't last forever. It is a response that is only ever temporary. And with psychological pain and trauma, you have to deal with it to move forwards. Bottling things up only eats away at you over time. It's common to feel numb, to feel fear, sadness, anger, and guilt, and these are all trauma responses. They lead us to try and not think about the events or avoid thinking about them altogether, and it leads to difficulty trusting people, believing the world is a dangerous place, blaming yourself, thinking you should have handled the trauma differently, seeing yourself as weak or insignificant, and criticizing yourself, feeling constantly on guard, seeing danger everywhere, being easily startled, difficulty sleeping, and a loss of interest in sex. These associated symptoms quite often lead to abandonment of self, and abandonment of family and friends that don't know how to deal with these cases of inner feelings of separation, detachment, and disassociation. It's a two-way street. Someone's got to drive past the other person eventually. Or you can sit at both ends of the street and look at each other and know that there's something there that's not resolved. Or you can turn the other way and regret it later on. And that's where unfinished business comes in, with spirits not leaving, ghosts, etc. On the outside, we are trained to keep a brave face, appear joyful and happy. As they say, no one likes a sad sack. This is a poorly designed statement, along the lines of men shouldn't cry, especially in front of children. This teaches a person to bottle up their emotions, often finding solace in drugs or addiction, which can lead to greater problems down the line. And we look at people in these situations and we look at them as if they're to blame for the reason that they're like that, when in reality it's not. It's how we treat them. Consider the African philosophy of Ubuntu. It's a concept in which your sense of self is shaped by your relationships with other people. It's a way of living that begins with the premise that I am only because we are. Let me read that again. It's a concept in which your sense of self, how you feel about yourself, is shaped by your relationships with other people throughout your life. In practice, Ubuntu means believing the common bonds within a group are more important than any individual arguments and divisions within it. People will debate, people will disagree, and it's not like there are no tensions in society. The same can be said for love. In African culture, they do not ignore a man or a woman they see in dis-ease. Dis-ease. Whether it is from crime or whether it is emotional, they shower them in love. Love is all they need. Until that feeling of despair, sadness, and loneliness has no other alternative but to leave. In reality, a lack of love is something we truly fear, which causes problems. We are social creatures. We fear being alone, and we fear being mistreated. Yet we fear loneliness to a higher degree. This is why we settle for relationships that do not benefit our own soul growth or emotional needs. And some of us will settle for financial needs met, but is that what they truly need? And these expectations and decisions are majorly governed by internal and external battles. As the saying goes, as within, so without. I am only because we are. See the correlation there between Ubuntu and that saying? As within, so without. As above, so below, so the universe, how it goes. We often seek approval and guidance from others, and many choose to find solace in others, instead of sitting with their own thoughts and the inability to be whole within themselves. And we battle between following our hearts, our emotions, our memories, and information programs. The current program belief systems have us seeking for external love more than self-love, seeking security and building false expectations. If you can't create your own happiness, you're only trying to make up for the part of your soul that you've lost. And you will never truly be happy on the inside while you're with someone else, despite a facade you may portray to those around you. It is understandable that we are faced with a huge amount of emotional triggers. We are constantly bombarded with information that we understand more than we understand. We stand under that information as opposed to understanding, to understanding it within and feeling what it truly means. We laugh it off because we don't want to face those emotions. Yet we know that song, that film that played with our emotions like a fiddle When you figure out how much they control you, you can stand above them and they will make you stronger. But while you fail to understand them at the same time, over time they can make us weak. It's okay to feel. It's okay to use these things to feel. But don't rely on them. Don't allow them to define your behaviour any more than if the behaviour is negative, then don't let it define that. Be better. It's a hard way to say it like that. It's allow it to be your driving force to become better. We allow these frequencies to define our decisions instead of confiding in ourselves and finding guidance within silence. Have you ever heard the saying, the quiet one is often the wise one? The inability to sit quietly or be alone with your own thoughts and clear your own mind can show that you're not truly comfortable within yourself, and there is more than likely pain you hide inside. But so can silence and the inability to communicate hold pain inside. We are often quick to remember the hard times in the presence of the triggers that are in the silence, and when unresolved heartbreak or love easily becomes diluted by darkness that we hold inside. The past we often hide from those around us about how we truly feel is only a lie. Maybe it's embarrassment or the fear of judgment, or simply the fear of not being accepted that we hide behind a mask when inside we're truly crying. Ubunye, I am because we are. Say it anyway. What you mean, what you need to say. The frustration we feel and the inadequacy that we hold on to can often lead to silence in social settings, can lead to miscommunication in relationships. And how many of you on social media, for example, lurk in the shadows, afraid to say what you want, fearing judgment, afraid to say what's really on your mind? Or on the other side, you post simply for external gratification. Same but different. Same but different. Unless it's constructive and growing towards helping another, then you're really just trying to fill a void. Relationships often don't fill the gap because we have all these expectations that have been imposed upon us. We're quick to rate, we're quick to judge, and we are quick to dive into situations we later hate. Many try to buy their way into someone's heart, including their own, and this doesn't lead to everlasting happiness, but a relationship that's based on love. That infatuation of external gratification is simply based on what a person can receive. Let that sink in for a minute. Many try to buy their way into someone's heart, including their own, and this doesn't lead to everlasting happiness or a relationship based on love. That infatuation is simply based on what a person can receive. But that doesn't mean don't give someone. That doesn't mean you can't help them. Just don't make it the sole purpose of your communication. Unless that person is obviously growing. It's so hard to see that when love is used as a weapon, we fail to be able to see things from another's perspective. In the case of close relationships, they can be perfect until outside things, events, and others cause dis-ease, whether it's a family dynamics or sexual dynamics or social dynamics. Look at racism, for example. We look at it as disease because that's how we've been trained, and in reality it's how we view those other people that are just people. They are part of our species. They may be a different race, but it's how we view them that is what it is, and everyone is a product of their experience and where they're at in their soul growth. Anyway, this disease is too often the case, and we can point at how people change, but these experiences are in a way blameless to us as individuals, although we are to blame if we choose to stay the same and be a victim of our programming from people of a time that was not the way things are now. So, as these events, these feelings, they're circumstantial and evidently poisoned by others due to a society and individuals that glorify their own wants and needs. People feed off division when we could switch this up and feed off love. Anyway, when someone gains love for another's partner, or another sibling, or another friend, vocal or not, it can drive wedges between. And it's immaturity in a way, but when two become one, there is often jealousy and envy from others who lack what they see. And that jealousy and envy can also come from within. Could be you that's that way. And these others or yourself lack what they see in another's joy and happiness. See, people are childish when they see how another's grass is so green. These childish behaviours and children are more than willing to chuck a palm frond over the fence to drive that wedge in between. So throw them back over as a love heart made of palm fronds to really drive them up the wall. In other words, fight hate with love. After all, so what do these negative actions say about the individuals ready to pounce at any given opportunity, ready to take away someone else's love, joy, happiness, or even their life? It shows they lack what you have. They have jealousy, envy, fear, and cowardly, selfish behaviour within themselves. Or maybe it's because they fear power, the power that you have when you feel good about yourself, and how you can affect the world by how you feel. See, so many of these people will make up excuses and lie through their teeth when confronted. You only have to reread what I just said, or listen to what I just said from the beginning to understand why they don't speak up and swallow their pride or deal with their own issues. It's their programming. We have to deprogram people the same way they've been programmed. That takes brains. That takes understanding things that I've just said. The state of our world and our external relationships are but reflections of our own soul. We can run from them, we can hide from them, we can ignore them, but we can never escape them, not in this life or the next. One way or another we will have to face them, even if we wait around after death, because we have that unresolved trauma still attached to us. You know, it's still part of our being after we die. Here's the thing for you. If I was to cut this apple in half and put it under a microscope to look at, or under a light thing to look at its energy field, its aura, which we all have, and I chopped it in half, you would still see a full apple there. Because the aura is still there, the energy is still there of that apple. We all, every living being, everything has an aura. Another topic for another time. These cycles are the circle of life that we go through with this pain and this trauma. We shouldn't be going through so many cycles of life. Death is the equivalent of selling a soul. And that soul is here to learn a lesson. Your soul is here to learn a lesson. Your spirit and your soul are attached. They're the same but different in a way. It's too much for me to explain. Spirit, like that light there. Soul is your copy. I won't explain it to them. Anyway, these are the cycles of the circle of life. Hakuna Matata. It means no worries. There are several ways we can change our external world by understanding and changing our own inner being. I have quite a lot of knowledge on this stuff, and there are other things that I can teach people that are awake to excel our effect on this world. I can't keep doing it all by myself. Everyone's doing a beautiful, amazing job, the ones who are, and I could sell you a course on this, but then I'd be holding out on the ones who are truly in need. Not that my reach is as far as it should be. More people need to hear this. And in that state, I ask if you could donate to me. You don't have to. No one is anyway, but you could. And you could help me to reach a greater, wider audience. To start teaching things about how this star is the planet. How you are your star. How you are a star. Six points. You're on your way to being a star anyway. Right now, you're just those 6 points. And, like I said, I'm happy to fill another's cup for free. The only thing it costs me is time, and sure, my time might be finite, or time might be infinite, depending on you and me. If you wish to donate, please donate to help me reach more people, because I want to teach the next generation how to be. I want to help elderly people from their experiences and help them to deal with their problems before they pass. Right now I'm only reaching who sees this, and not many people put this out. Everyone's a charlatan trying to sell their shit, and I don't quite agree with that. It means the people that truly need it can't reach it. I want to be able to do it for free, and if people have money to donate towards those things, do it. What sort of a person doesn't donate to help another person? That's a person that doesn't realise that they are a part of the whole. Selfish and looking at external factors to find their own happiness within. Lose the hate, lose the judgment, lose the fear, lose the envy. Stop being lazy, stop being gluttonous pigs, stop being selfish, stop drooling over women, and use your heart brain to see. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this for everybody, for as many people that can see what I'm trying to do. Not to be above all the rest, but to bring people up to the level at which we that have reached this level are. Now, I imagine many of you are experiencing a period of old wounds right now, so this comes as a timely reminder. It's okay to not be okay, and speak up. Don't speak down about yourself, internally or externally. You're only going to make your life harder. Yours truly,